Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lori Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. All right, so today we're going to talk about reasons or life events that would cause one to need to update their estate plan, their will, their trust, their powers of attorney. And there are many, many, many reasons, but there's definitely some more common ones of reasons why we would need to update that. But I already know at least more for people who might watch the podcast versus listen to it, because at this point, if you're listening to it, you wouldn't notice this. But somebody is missing from the podcast today. And if you are watching this, Sarah, what the hell is behind you? Like, why did we do this?
She's still here.
Because she's here with us in spirit.
So Sam is not here today because apparently it takes 2 full days to move into an apartment during the week.
Yes.
She has a lot of feelings and she needs time to process them.
Heaven forbid you move during the weekend. But, oh no, I can't tell you why she's not here, because there's a statement that, Sarah, are you the one that's going to read this for everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not.
Okay. Dear listeners, I am so sorry that I am not there today. I am currently sitting in an English pub, shout out to the Londoner, after going up so many stairs that my legs feel like jello. I know it is a great injustice that I am not there to make you hee and haw today, but you are in good hands with Sarah, as we are basically the same person, just born in different countries. I hope you learned some fun things today and have a good time. Please forgive me, or I will cry. Sam.
I will go on record that there is a good chance that Sam will cry anyway.
Yeah, she's going to cry no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes. And
you tell her a cute story, tears.
Is she actually at a pub?
I guess
Is she
so.
taking a break from the strenuous moving from a 1-bedroom apartment to another 1-bedroom apartment?
Oh, please. I can verify.
I guess so.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, she's on her way home now. She was there.
Okay. Well, normally we record this earlier in the day, but we've had some intervening events. So we're going to talk about things that need updating. One of my favorite parts about this topic is that it presumes that you already have an estate plan, will, or trust. And so I'm going to throw something out, Sarah, that I'm not sure, and you're going to like this because it's data, or as Cynthia would pronounce it, data.
Data.
Did you know, Sarah, that people are more likely to update their will or trust or estate plan than they are to even do it in the first place?
I could see that.
Okay, elaborate. Yeah. Why does that make sense?
Because, like, if you've already gotten it, you're already, I don't want to say people, okay. If you already gotten it, you're responsible.
So say it how you mean it. Jordan would.
So, yeah. Right. So
she's going to say Jordan would say you're not lazy.
So it makes sense that if you already have it, you're already thinking about like, oh, okay, this thing happened. We should update this. Versus if you don't have it, it's not even on your radar. So yeah, I could see that.
Say something more like, if you have it, you've already bought into it and you know, or if you have it, you know, and you're never going back because you care about your family.
That too.
You can edit that how you want.
I think all of that's correct. Here's what's even more correct, is that one of the reasons that people don't get this done is because it's like this barrier. It's like this big unknown thing of how hard is it going to be? What am I going to have to do? How much time it's going to take? And once you've gotten over that and seen the process, then in your mind, it's really just doing little tweaks and adjustments and everything. So it's much easier once you've gotten past the hump of doing it, making some initial decisions, having it in place. Now it's there. Now you only have to think about how would you adjust this or shape this, and so, or change it. And so I would actually use one of the things that we try to help people get this done in the first place, use this as an example of, is that just get it done. You can change it, you can update it, and really just getting it done the first time makes it so much easier for you to think later, like, oh, maybe I want to change who I named in my medical power of attorney, or maybe I want to add another guardian. But just starting from scratch is the hardest barrier to get over. So just do it and know that you can change it all you want, make adjustments. So, Sarah, what do you think are some good reasons once you've already got a plan in place that might trigger you to make an update? And I don't want you to look at any blogs. I don't want you to use any knowledge that you would have from working here over the many years you've
Oh,
been here.
okay,
I
okay.
want you just to speculate. Why would someone need to update their estate plan?
If I knew nothing, I would say kids. That would
Uh,
be my number one guess.
what does that mean?
If you have kids, it's like now you have something to take care of. You are responsible for.
So, are you saying if you didn't have kids and then you have kids?
Right. Yes.
Like they happen.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Okay.
gave birth.
So, what would you
Or
need
you
to
adopted.
update?
Or you
I
would.
can't believe I'm asking the one person in the firm that doesn't have anything to do with legal production or work with clients, but it's what makes this so fun. So, Sarah, what would you have to change, do you think, in your plan if suddenly you had no kids and now you have kids? It's not so sudden. You usually have about a 9 month head start on that,
Yeah, you
That's
have
true.
a
You get a
heads up.
warning.
unless you're an
Um,
elephant. What's their gestation period? Isn't it really long?
It's almost like I'll look at it while Sarah talks.
Look at that and then look at bunnies.
um, guardianship is the first thing that comes to mind.
Sarah, who are you? How do
I
you
don't
know
know.
this stuff?
Thanks to Burch Law.
Okay. So guardianship, who would take care of them?
Mhm.
Can you think of, I'm already impressed. So can you think of anything else that would trigger you needing to update if you suddenly in 9 months you had kids?
Honestly, no.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Well, let me put it this way, because this is really fun for me. Because you're the only person in the firm that I would have zero problem with you not knowing any of these answers. So if I
Wait,
wanted,
hold on.
okay,
Let me interject
gestational
here really
periods.
quick.
Yeah.
Asian elephants 18 to 22 months, African bush elephants 22 months. And yes,
Dang.
comparison with bunnies or rabbits, um the shortest period I see on here is 27 days. Longest is 35 for European rabbits. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Wow.
The common Taipei rabbit is no wait. It's 45. So yeah, 27 to 45 days. You may
Wow.
continue.
That's really great.
They're so cute.
There's a lot of like thoughts that are coming into my head, but I haven't filtered them through a live studio audience, so I'm not going to say them. But anyway, Sarah, so if I was going to have a child, guardianship good, ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner, what if I wanted to leave all my money to them?
Ooh, okay. Um, you would need well, it would be best if you had a trust.
Not best, you'd have to have one. So go with your
Oh,
first
okay,
instinct.
okay.
Why?
So that they don't get all of their money or your money at 18.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you know that you have knowledge that the vast majority of the world does not have?
She reads the blogs, right?
I watched the videos.
It is impressive that when we have marketing vendors send us blogs that they're going to put on there, And then Sarah's like, do you want to review them first? I reviewed them and I gave them corrections. I used to say yes, but now I'm like, no, let them make your revisions and then I'll look. But because when Sarah first would send them to me, and it's so interesting, like the substantive areas of law where Sarah would be like, ooh, I don't think they can say that, or no, that doesn't make any sense, or we don't do it that way.
It is interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
my favorite characteristic of you, Sarah, and I think probably your most unique characteristic to the other people that work at Burch Law, is you really, really, really listen to me.
Yeah.
And wait, this is a two-parter because I think everybody listens to me, frankly. Well, almost everybody. But you do this other thing and you retain it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's true.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're going to have kids, the other thing, and this one is one I don't love, but it is something that we're having to deal with the reality of things, how things are kind of changing in Texas as far as probate and all the stuff that you go through, is that if you have additional kids, you should probably update your stuff to acknowledge the new child. Now, if we were talking 10 years ago, I would tell you no, as long as we've got a clause that says, this is my child now, but this is going to include any future born or adopted children. That's kind of the language that we would use. That used to be good enough, but now we're running into so many roadblocks that courts want to throw at us. And so now we're dealing with, if we say, all future and born children or adopted children, it used to be, okay, well, let's just show birth certificates. Here are the other kids that are going to be born or were born. And now some courts are wanting to do like appointing an attorney ad litem to research the errors and be able to prove that these other kids exist and that they were of this couple. And, if you're not a probate attorney, you don't need to know all the nuances of what that means, just that it takes more time and money. And so updating things when more kids are born is probably a good idea. I think we have another sidebar from Cynthia regarding gestational periods.
We do. This one
Cynthia.
is hi. Thank you, Lori. The frilled shark has the longest gestation period of all vertebrates. It can take 3.5 years for it to give birth to their pups, and the litter
Wow.
sizes vary from 2 to 15.
What
That's
kind
a
of
long
shark is
time.
this?
It's got okay, you can Google it if you want. Frilled, Frilled. It's got a terrifying little mouth, big mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.5 years.
Could you imagine if that was humans?
That would be a big baby.
Well, in fairness, it kind of felt like Kimberly was pregnant for 3.5 years.
Well, but that was, over the course of 2 kids.
Yeah, but it just felt like a really long time.
I mean, you also
Anyway.
lived with her, so you were
Yes.
there,
Oh,
We only
Sarah's
saw her
Googling
occasionally.
something. What are,
Oh,
Oh,
I was looking up the frilled shark. I don't like that.
and yeah, I told you not to look
oh,
at it.
all right, fine.
I
I'm
told
all in
y'all.
here.
Oh,
Frilled shark. Oh,
I told you.
It's
ooh.
not
I
pretty.
really don't think something that
Not.
looks like that should be procreating.
I'm just saying, I started Googling and mammals, it's the African
Ironically, this looks
elephants.
like something that hasn't fully developed.
It does.
Right?
You would think for 3.5 years it would look better.
For 3.5 years, you could have more definition to your face or snout or teeth. Oh no, there's some teeth
It's
in there.
got some teeth. It's got some interesting
Okay.
teeth.
All right. So estate planning. Estate planning.
Yeah.
So speaking of kids, let's keep on that theme, right? When kids are no longer minors,
Hmm.
sometimes I think about like little hats with a light on it. They're in Pennsylvania. They're like just mining away. Anyway. when they are under 18. When they become 18, 19, 20, start to become an adult, then that's another time that may trigger you to think about, is this time to update? Certainly, we don't need guardianship anymore, but at what point might you think your kids are ready to take on some of the responsibility of being a medical power of attorney, of being an executor, of being able to inherit money and make sound financial decisions? So that's another time in your life that it might trigger needing to make any updates or changes. Sarah, what do you think are other reasons that people might need to make changes or updates to their estate plan?
Definitely when somebody dies,
Okay,
like if
not
somebody
bad.
in your plan,
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
executor or something, they die, you would want that updated.
I don't know that like the majority of other people in Birch Law could answer just right off the cuff like this. They probably can, but I'm just trying to give Sarah all the props here. Yeah,
No,
Thank
and
you.
I'm
Thank
sure all
you.
of them would pause.
so we do really like to be able to build in contingency plans where if not this person, this person, if not this person, this person. And that's pretty good, but sometimes you don't have the luxury of having that many people, or you haven't really built out contingency plans. And definitely when it's a loss of a spouse and they're your first person that gets everything, is appointed to do everything, there will be certain efficiencies as far as making things quicker, simpler, and easier if you do go ahead and update it. It's not necessarily that you have to do it when you have other contingencies, but if the goal is to not have problems with banks, hospitals, courts, and all of that, not a bad idea to update it when somebody passes away. So, a question that we get quite often, I would say, is how often should you review your will or trust or estate plan? Sarah, how often do you think you should?
Well, I know the answer. So if I didn't know the answer,
Oh,
I
you
would say
do.
probably every 5 years or so. That seems like a good time
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, there actually isn't really any right or wrong answer to that. Um, Laws do change, estate tax changes, your life changes. So certainly, any triggering life events that we're talking about, that needs to kind of click in. But as far as just a general review, I'd say at least every 2 to 3 years is a good benchmark. But I also know, because I have a background in dentistry, maybe we need a podcast to talk about that weird little segment of my life era. It's not
Yeah.
really an era; it's like a sub era because law was still going on at the same time. But anyway, I do have a background in dentistry, and they tell you to floss every day. Sarah, do you floss every day?
Not even, nope. Nope.
Cynthia, do you floss every day?
Not every day, no.
Okay. And even with this gorgeous, perfect, never braces wearing smile, not even I floss every day. So I realize that for the majority of people, that 2 to 3 years is probably unrealistic. But, hey, at least we're not saying review it every day. But it's one reason why we have a special subscription plan, a maintenance plan, if you will, the CYA plan, the Cover Your Assets plan,
Assets. Yes.
exclusive to Birch Law, where we will force you to have a review with us. And depending on your level of the plan, it can be annual. Cynthia, I'm going to do it. It can be biannual,
Mm-hmm.
which means every other
Uh-huh.
year or twice a year. Anyway, twice a year, or something that most people can figure out, quarterly. Different levels of the plan have to do with us forcing you into having a review. But it is good because, it does catch me off guard sometimes where people email me in a panic and say, Lori, we did our will a few years ago with you, and we need to add my sister as a guardian. And I'll pull up their will, and their sister's already a guardian. Or they'll say, Lori, I just talked to so and so, and they said I need to have this document for disposition of remains. And I'm like, we did that document. You already have it. So the fact is, I don't think people, and maybe it's really just a testament to the extreme trust that our clients have in us. That's what it is. That they don't necessarily remember, retain, or ever knew in the first place what we did for them. So, not a bad idea to take a look or to sit down if you're a CYA plan client and take a gander at those things. So, we've already mentioned kids being born, kids becoming adults. We talked about death. Another one, I'm not going to put Sarah on the spot anymore for this stuff because we need to be moving along. Getting married, married names, name changes. Those are things that aren't bad ideas.
If you move
Change in
states.
assets. Have you bought a new house? I didn't hear what you just said. What did you say? What did you say,
I
Cynthia?
said if you move states, if you
I'm
move to a
getting
different
there.
state. Oh, you didn't. You just, it
I'm
made it sound
getting
like it was a free
there.
for all. And I have information. I'll go
All right,
back to
get
shark
there.
facts.
Go back to gestational periods.
They're fascinating.
What? Never mind. Yes. So definitely if you're retiring, that's sometimes a time to re-examine this. And yes, to Cynthia's point, moving out of state or moving in state. This is something people don't really like. And it's one of those things that I guess I'm such an insider to estate planning. It catches me off guard a little bit, or maybe just having legal knowledge that and constitutional knowledge and knowing that every state has a certain degree of autonomy. But I also understand from a layperson's perspective that, gosh, a document for a will from this state should be valid in this state and this state. But every state defines what language and parameters should be in a will, in a medical power of attorney, and financial power of attorney. There's even documents that aren't the same from state to state. Now, that doesn't mean they're not recognized, so don't get in a big huff and puff about it. We have probated many wills from different states. But again, the number one reason we hear from people to get any of this legal planning done is because it's really fun. Nope, that's not the number one reason at all. In fact, I don't think that's ever a reason. The number one reason is that they're trying to make things as easy or as straightforward as possible. So if that is your end goal, then yes, if you move to a different state or you have the good fortune to be moving into Texas, and you have documents from a different state, you really should get them updated. Or how do we call it, Sarah? If you move out of state, you move from another state, you come to Texas.
Texify.
Because there's different procedures, there's different language. And I'll tell you one thing right now, that's right. Texify, big Texify, because it is Texas State Fair time. Oh, I wonder if Kimberly set a reminder for us to look for our big Tex cups. Cut that out, Sarah. Nobody needs to know about that. So anyway, don't tempt banks with an opportunity to reject your financial power of attorney because they just look for reasons not to accept them. And so if you've got one and you're going into a Texas bank and you've got one from Arizona, they're just going to throw you out on the street. Okay. So moving states is definitely something that that would trigger that. And it's also important, in addition to all of this, is to make sure that you're reviewing other things. How are your beneficiaries set up on life insurance, retirement, getting an understanding of how your bank accounts are set up. That is one of the biggest things. Like, is it joint owner? Is it rights of survivorship? All of these things. So there's many reasons that you should, if you've got a plan in place, good for you, good job. You're way ahead of most people. But since you've shown that degree of responsibility, take it another level and make sure that you're trying to keep things updated and in line with your current plan. Because we've had wills that are so old that all of the executors have died. And it it can make things really difficult and challenging. So, the thing is too is that for the most part, if you do this the first time, you're probably not going to have to update this more than maybe 2 to 3 times your entire life. This is your entire life. Unless you're like some of our clients where you just live for cutting out a kid and they all need to take a turn. We've had instances like that. And
I
hey,
mean, what else do you
you
do with your time?
right, right, absolutely. Cut
Valid.
them out, put them back in, cut out another one. But these are the main triggers for you that should require some updating. Do you have any other thoughts, Sarah or Cynthia or Sam?
Sam has no more thoughts for this.
I'm going to
Mm,
need you to isolate that
yep.
little piece of audio that says
Yep. Thank
Sam has
you.
no more thoughts. Great. So, even in the absence of Sam, I do think you all anticipated her being gone. Um, So let me go up here and look at our list of what you did. So, Sarah, what did you and Sam prepare for us when it comes to things that need to be updated? Are you going to hold her up or
She needs to be
something?
closer.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we came up with a quick list of when you should update other things in life.
Oh, okay.
I have
So
some useful ones after they're done with these ones.
thank God. Okay. So starting off with Sam's, which is why she's here. So it looks like
Oh,
she's speaking.
she looks so pleasant. Okay.
Update your cat's name when it doesn't listen to you.
Wouldn't wouldn't that be a lot? Should you do that with your kids too?
Yeah, I think you should do that with anything, really.
See, Turnip knows her name. She just refuses to acknowledge it.
That's the thing about
That's an active
cats
choice.
Time to
That's a
update.
choice.
and frankly kids. And I don't know that I really want this to make it into the final episode, but what's next, Sarah?
Uh, just get a new car when it's time for an oil change.
You came up with this. Did you come up with it because I brought it up the other day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Lori, is
Because
that what you do?
no, that's what someone in my life does. Because Sarah, I don't think that would ever come into your realm of thought because
No.
it's so uber bougie.
And you have to talk to
Yeah.
people. Like that's several conversations.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do this next one from Sam.
From Sam, hire new coworkers when they start getting better than you. What she means by that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so
Uh
Sam's not
huh.
here to answer for herself, which is really how we prefer it. But
Not
so
wrong.
do you think that she's saying that if a coworker is getting better than you, get rid of them and get another one?
Yes. But
Like,
how?
are we committing
To be determined.
crimes
Do
or yeah,
you do
that's
you
the
all have
part.
the perception that you are in control of this?
I don't. Um, I'm curious what she's thinking, like how she would get rid of it, whether that's bribery,
Who is
blackmail.
she
I
gonna
don't know.
bribe?
But she said hire new coworkers.
How is she gonna bribe them? Is the thing.
Blackmail?
Chicken
She
sushi?
does know a lot of secrets. No,
Yeah.
she knows a lot. Well, that's only if she wants to make them sick. Mm.
Salmonella sushi?
I don't know.
Okay, let's just move on to the next one. This
Yeah,
one's
let's move
yours.
on.
Yeah, just get a new phone when it loses battery.
Define loses battery. Like it just is loses its charge or doesn't
Yeah,
charge as well anymore.
I should clarify. When it just loses its charge, it goes down to 0. Just get a new one. Time to
Oh,
update
So
anyways.
we have something in our household that I lovingly call Kim percent.
mm-hmm.
Because if Kimberly's phone is ever above 20% charge, then I don't know what's happened. So that is Kim percent. Now, when mine gets below 70%, I start to freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think what Cynthia was
Good.
asking, because there are lawsuits about this, is about the actual capacity of the battery. But that almost makes too much sense for a Sarah contribution.
Yeah,
Right.
I
That makes too
realized
much
that after I
sense.
said it.
It's too
I
valid.
apologize, dear
Yeah.
Do you
listeners.
all know about this, the if you have an iPhone where you can look to see what your battery capacity is?
Yes.
Maximum capacity. So what is the maximum capacity of your current phone?
Mine's at 84.
84.
Wait,
And
how
which
do I
It's a
iPhone
find
do you
this?
have?
12. I think it's a 12.
A 12. Okay.
How
Cynthia,
do I find this?
go to settings, go to battery, and then go to battery health and charging.
Okay, battery. Oh, I'm at 87.
Nice.
Okay. Which iPhone do you have?
I think this is a 12.
Okay.
Dang.
I have an 11, which an 80-year-old man made fun of me recently for that. But
It's
my
12.
maximum capacity, it may have also been the same one who gets a new car when it needs an oil change. But mine's 87 as well.
Dang.
Just
What am
something
I
else we
doing?
Robin. You
I've
know
had
what,
this for
Sarah?
a couple of years. See, that's another thing for
Yeah.
me. I'm like, if it does everything I need it to, it keeps a charge.
I
I'm not just
like
gonna
my
get a new
phone
thing.
case.
I mean, that too. Yeah.
I like my phone case. All right. Do we have something else from Sam from the great beyond?
Yes. She said, get new shoes
Still
when yours
alive.
get dirty. Wait, there we
Get
go.
new shoes when yours get dirty. Are
Yeah.
these all aspirational for the two of you?
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
my question too.
Because
I don't know.
this is none of you live this way. These
Mm-mm.
sound like if Cynthia Jordan or I were coming up with ones, they sound more like that.
It's true. If my
Yeah,
shoes get
maybe.
dirty, I just clean them or have them cleaned.
Same.
No, you gotta buy new ones.
I mean, I don't really get my shoes dirty because I probably have
Same.
dirty pairs of shoes.
I'm just very careful when I step, and if I get anything on them, I may
You know what,
clean them right
Sarah?
then and
I
there.
don't go to dirty places.
Maybe
I
Sam
think
and
the
I do. I
dirtiest
don't
place
know.
you go is like a playground, maybe, whenever you have to take the
Well,
kids.
actually, nature school, like walking around,
Yeah.
walking out, it's all like gravel and dirt there.
Ew.
All right. And then finally, a contribution from Sarah.
Yes. With some help from Cynthia and Lori. When your spouse leaves time on the microwave, change your Facebook status to it's complicated.
That sounds good. For the
Really,
record,
anything.
I don't mind it. Luke
It's
does.
complicated.
I should have done this when Kimberly volunteered to be president of the PTSA.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. And you know what? It really
Yeah.
is complicated.
It's made things complicated.
It's
Ugh.
actually shocking. And, you know, we're in the midst of homecoming, or as Kimberly's calling
Mhm.
it, HOCO, which I told her
What does she call hot chocolate?
if you say HOCO one more time to
Oh.
me, I believe she would call hot chocolate hot chocolate. Although that does remind me, I do
Not
think in a
Hocho?
future episode, dear listeners, in a future episode, we are going to talk about acronyms.
Ooh.
And
That one's
maybe as a subtopic, we should talk about unnecessary abbreviations.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you need to put HOCO at the top of that. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I think that'd be a
I
fun
make you that
episode.
an unnecessary abbreviation such as HOCO. All right, and we've got it. So those are things that need to be updated. Maybe they don't. If you have any thoughts that you want to contribute to us, let us know. can we say something like, put something in the comments? I don't know. I see
Yeah.
like the kids watch this
I mean,
YouTuber
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can put things in the
Okay.
comments. They can tweet at
Yeah.
us. Do we have a Twitter? No, we don't.
We don't have a Twitter.
Oh, I do.
Instagram.
But it's X.
Yeah. I
They don't call it
refuse.
Twitter anymore, do they? So but
Yeah.
it's called X, but
Mhm.
is it still called a tweet?
Yeah, what is it called?
I don't know
I
that
don't
anybody
know.
legitimately is doing it anymore. I don't know, but you can find me. Yeah.
You
Okay.
can find me.
Yes.
Oh,
But
if
most
they're part of the Friends and Family of Birch Law Facebook group, you can go in there
yeah,
and you
post
can
them
leave
there.
comments
We'd love to
about.
hear from you. We'd love to hear from
I
you.
do think some useful things, people, that you do absolutely need to update
Yes.
is air filters, your
Ooh.
sponges to do your dishes,
Ooh.
your water filters, your like. There's so many things that are legitimate that we could have listed out, but please,
Oh,
please clean out filters and stay healthy.
so here's something I want to ask and I'm wondering, but I have like a monthly, annual, whatever the frequency is, reminder on my, yes, I have a personal Asana. That's what I use, not a sponsor. And from weekly to monthly to bi-monthly to yearly reminders on there to do certain things. Do other people do this?
Yeah,
I just have a calendar, like a
I have
physical
calendar
calendar.
reminders.
And I mean, I have different projects. I have personal, I have banter, family maintenance, I have home improvement.
It's kind of smart.
Yeah, we put things on the calendar. So like if we know that, hey, we need to like tags, flea medication is on the calendar, the
Mm-hmm.
cats is, um, whenever we need to like replace certain filters on certain things or
Mm-hmm.
buying their food for the pets just
Yeah.
because Luca's the one who feeds them most of the time. And I'm like, I don't know where we are. But yeah, we have reminders.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good system to have, be able to get those things done and to keep it updated.
Yep.
And with that,
True.
we bid you adieu. Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
Much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.